How one bad decision turned me from an overnight millionaire tech exec to a prisoner with no money. My insider trading nightmare. I'd been working closely with Laura, who was basically my go-to for all the office gossip. We'd grab coffee together, shoot the breeze during lunch breaks, and she seemed to trust me with stuff she didn't tell anyone else. So when she sidled up to me one day looking like she had the juiciest piece of news ever, I was all ears. Turns out, she spilled the beans about a top-secret merger that was about to go down. This wasn't just water cooler gossip, it was the kind of info that could move mountains, or at least make a boatload of cash if you played your cards right. And boy did I start thinking about those cards. See, I'd always been pretty good with numbers and had a knack for predicting market trends. Years in the industry gave me a feel for how things moved, and suddenly, that insider info from Laura started looking like a golden ticket. The allure of a big payday was too tempting to ignore, and before long, I was knee-deep in financial reports and stock analyses. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind was racing with the possibilities. If this merger went through as planned, the stock was set to skyrocket. I started imagining what I could do with all that money. Pay off my mortgage, travel the world, retire early. The idea of becoming a millionaire overnight was intoxicating. I thought about my family. How I could provide for them, secure their future. The more I thought about it, the more it seemed like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But there was that nagging voice in the back of my head, reminding me of the legal risks, the potential fallout. I knew insider trading was illegal. I knew the consequences could be severe. Yet the temptation kept gnawing at me. I kept telling myself, it's just this one time. Who's going to find out? You've been so careful. The rationalizations piled up. I convinced myself that everyone in the industry did it, that I'd be foolish not to take advantage of the information I had. I thought about Laura and wondered if she was making a move too. The fear of missing out pushed me further. I told myself that if I didn't act on this information, I'd regret it forever. The following morning, I logged into my brokerage account with trembling fingers. As the trading window opened, I hesitated briefly, acutely aware of the gravity of my actions. But the lure of wealth beckoned, drowning out any lingering doubts. With a few clicks, I executed the trade, investing a substantial portion of my savings into the stock. Hours stretched into an eternity as I monitored the market's response. By midday, news of the merger sent shockwaves through the financial world. The stock surged exponentially, surpassing all expectations. When I checked my portfolio, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was staring at a number with so many zeros I thought my screen had glitched. But there it was, I was suddenly a millionaire. Of course, I didn't exactly shout it from the rooftops. I kept quiet about my windfall, playing it cool at work while the money burned a hole in my pocket. For a while, life felt like a high-speed roller coaster of adrenaline and paranoia. Every beep from my phone made me jump, convinced it was the SEC coming to bust down my door. But as luck would have it, I wasn't as stealthy as I thought. The company's internal watchdogs caught wind of irregularities in the trading patterns, and before I knew it, I was sitting across from a team of stone-faced lawyers, trying to explain away the unexplainable. The evidence was damning: emails, transaction logs, the works. There was no way out. The legal battle was brutal. My once promising career imploded in a matter of weeks, and the courtroom felt like a pressure cooker of judgment and regret. When the judge laid down the hammer, a hefty prison sentence, I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. Just like that, everything I'd worked so hard for was gone. My assets were frozen, my accounts drained to cover legal fees, and the lavish lifestyle I had envisioned evaporated in an instant. The house I had planned to pay off was put up for sale, and my car was repossessed. Friends who once admired my success now avoided me like the plague, and family members were torn between disappointment and pity. Prison life was a waking nightmare, a constant reminder of my colossal mistake. Each day dragged on as I grappled with the consequences of my actions. It wasn't just about losing my job or my savings, it was about losing myself, piece by piece. In the cold, sterile environment of the prison, I had plenty of time to reflect. The daily routine was monotonous and dehumanizing. Wake up, eat, work, sleep. The food was barely edible, the beds were hard and uncomfortable, and privacy was a luxury I no longer had. I was surrounded by people who had made all kinds of mistakes, but my own felt uniquely foolish. Isolation gnawed at me. I missed the little things. Morning coffee, a comfortable bed, the freedom to go where I pleased. But more than that, I missed the respect I once commanded, the pride I felt in my work. I had thrown it all away for a quick buck, and now I was paying the price. In those long, sleepless nights, I wondered about Laura. Had she made the same mistake? Was she also facing the consequences of her actions, or had she set me up to take the fall? The thought of betrayal added a bitter edge to my regret. Emerging from prison, life looked a lot different. Rebuilding felt like trying to put together a puzzle with half the pieces missing. I had lost friends, trust, and any semblance of the life I once knew. The stigma of my crime followed me everywhere. Job applications were met with polite rejections, and even casual conversations became awkward once my past came up. My family, though supportive, struggled to understand the depth of my regret and the weight of my actions. Trust, once broken, was hard to rebuild. I had to face the reality that some relationships would never fully heal. Financially, I was starting from scratch. The money I had hoped to secure for my family's future was gone, leaving us in a precarious position. I took whatever jobs I could find, often far below my qualifications, just to make ends meet. The dream of early retirement was replaced by the harsh reality of scraping by. But amidst the rubble of my former life, I found a sliver of hope. The experience had humbled me, forced me to reevaluate my values and priorities. I began to focus on rebuilding my integrity, one small step at a time. Volunteering at local shelters, mentoring at-risk youth, and speaking about the dangers of insider trading became my way of giving back. Of trying to make amends. Today, I share my cautionary tale with you. Insider trading isn't just a quick path to wealth, it's a slippery slope that can lead straight to ruin. Trust me, I learned that the hard way. The allure of easy gain, however seductive, leads only to ruin. My reckoning with greed and integrity forged a resolve. To atone, rebuild, and reclaim a life defined by honor, not hubris. So here I am, sharing my cautionary tale with you. Insider trading isn't just a quick path to wealth, it's a slippery slope that can lead straight to ruin. Trust me, I learned that the hard way.